Hello there, dear YouTubers, and welcome to this yoga class all about the hips. I want you to come into this seated position that I'm in with your bottom sitting onto your block, either at the lowest height or come up a height, so you're in a supported Virasana, hero's pose. And remember, you can put a nice firm cushion underneath your bottom here as needed. Bring your hands down onto your legs. Now, before we proceed with this class, which is going to be all about mobility and strength, flexibility and opening in the hips, I want you please to be aware that this class is going to be on YouTube only until Tuesday, Wednesday next week, so the beginning of December. And if you want to be able to keep doing it and also have access to all my other Sarah's Shorts classes, then go to the link below in the video notes, the class notes, and it'll give you all the information on how to become a patron. Remember, it's only $3 a month or £3 a month, super cheap for access to tons of brilliant classes. Okay. Bring your hands down onto your legs and sit tall. Now lower your chin and close your eyes for a few moments. Press your feet down and slightly press your knees towards each other without actually moving your knees. And just take a few breaths here. Breathe in deeply and exhale slowly. Repeat that for a few rounds. Bring yourself to steadiness and stillness. Then, open your eyes, lift your seat, remove your block, and come into downward facing dog. Place your hands, remember you want your fingers evenly separated, tuck your toes, pick up your knees, and push back. Now keep your knees bent for a moment to help encourage that curve in your lower back. Try and maintain that as you lift your sitting bones, and then maybe bring your legs a little straighter. If you start to round in your lower back, then keep your knees bent. Now just to warm up a little bit before we focus on the hips, come forward into plank. Bring your knees down to the floor, and we're going to do 5 push-ups. Come part way down, come up, come down, come up. 3rd one, 4th one. 5th, come up, and then come all the way down slowly. Press your shoulders away from your ears. Curl up into cobra, lift your chest. Downward facing dog. Push the floor away, push back. Come forward into plank again. No push-ups this time. Bring your knees down to the floor. Come all the way down. Now instead of cobra, pick up your hands. Reach your hands behind you, palms face each other, and come up into Shalabhasana. Squeeze your legs, pick up your legs. Pick up your shoulders, press your hands towards each other, and breathe. 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands by your ribs. Now come into plank. Tuck your toes under, push your knees down, straighten your legs. Downward facing dog, push back. Walk your feet forward to the top of your mat. Now repeating what we did last week, pick up your right foot for Padahastasana. Bring your hands underneath the sole of your right foot. Bend your knees as you need to. And then pick up your left foot and bring your hand underneath the sole of your left foot. Please do bend your knees here as much as you need to and fold forwards. Then release your right foot. Release your left foot. Bring your hands to the floor. Bend your knees. Swoop your arms forwards and come up into chair pose. It's quite cold here, so I'm warming up pretty strongly here for you guys and me. Come up to stand, step your feet together, and interlace your hands behind the back of your head. Bring your elbows back. Push your heels and the bases of your toes down as equally as you can. So you're not pushing your hips forward as you rest on your toes or leaning back. Now straighten your arms, bend your right elbow, grab the top of your left elbow here, the forearm, and then lean over to the right. Inhale, come up. Change sides. Inhale, lift. Lean to the left. Squeeze your bottom, squeeze your legs. Inhale, come up. Straighten both of your arms. Now swoop your arms forward and then back and interlace your hands behind your hips. Press your knuckles down. Squeeze your arms as straight and as strong as you can. Put a little lift into your chin, and again, squeeze your legs. Push your feet down as evenly as you can. Then release your hands. Bring your hands down by your sides. And step your feet apart. Swoop your arms forward again. Bring your arms up overhead. Bend your knees. Come back into chair pose. Press your tailbone down to the floor. Fold forward and bring your hands to either sides of your feet. Keep your knees bent. Pick up your left foot and reach it to the back of your mat. Now lower it and then reach it back further and touch down. Bring your back knee down. Now double up your mat on the left side so that you can pick your knee up and rest it on more of a cushion there with your mat doubled, and bring your hands one by one onto your right leg. Move your hips back, then slowly move them forward. Now don't come forward too much because we're going to hold this for a good minute. Squeeze your right hip in so that the knee points straight ahead. Then bring your arms up overhead and interlace your hands behind the back of your head. Bring your elbows back. So repeating this upper body, this action that you did earlier. I don't want there to be anything too new and surprising in the upper body because I want you to really think about what your legs and your hips are doing here. Push both of your feet down and squeeze in the glutes. Then straighten your arms. Grab your left arm and lean over to the right. 3, 2, 1. Come up straight. Straighten your left arm. Now swoop your arms forward and back and interlace your hands behind your back. Press your knuckles down. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Possibly a little lift in the chin here and maybe a little lift in the arms. 3, 2, 1. Lower your chin. Swoop your arms forward. Then pick up your back knee. You're going to step forward. Let the mat unfold. Step that left foot forward. Pause in Uttanasana. Push your fingers into the floor. And as you stand here, observe your legs, your hips, even your lower back here. How do they feel? Probably the left and right feel very different. Let's even them up. So bend both of your knees. Pick up the right foot. Now reach it behind you, then lower it closer to the floor. Then skim it to the back of the mat. Bring the back knee down on your folded mat. Or put a towel there. Bring your hands on top of your left leg and push yourself up. And then again, move your hips back. And then slowly, experimentally move them forward. Think about what's going on in your hips. Don't bring them forward too much. Move them back a little bit if you feel like, oof, remember we're here for a long time. Then reach your arms up overhead and interlace your hands behind the back of your head. Bring your elbows back. Push both feet down. Squeeze your legs. Then straighten your arms. Look forwards. Then from here, bend your right elbow, grab your right arm, your left elbow, grab your right arm and lean over to the left. Keep moving your right hip point forward. Inhale, come up, release your arms. Move your arms forward and then interlace your hands behind your hips. Straighten your arms as much as you can. If you can bring the heels of your hands together, then do. And remember, your priority is your legs here. Keep squeezing your bottom. 3, 2, 1. Then from here, release your hands. Bring them forwards. Pick up your back knee. Step forwards again. Fold forwards. Now we're going to do that Padahastasana pose again. Pick up your left toes, spade your hands with the palms up underneath the top sole, the front part of the sole of your foot, and then do it with the right side. Push your fingers up into your feet and your toes down into your hands. 3, 2, and 1. Release the left foot, then the right foot. Walk your hands forward, bend your knees and come into a squat. Then sit down, bring your hands behind you and bring the soles of your feet together. Bring your hands onto the floor behind you, lift your chest, Baddha Konasana. Press in. Press your feet together. Squeeze your bottom. Squeeze your knees. Now lean back. Lean over to your right. Pick up your left leg. Point the foot. And then grab the front of the ankle and bring your leg around. So now you're doing half virasana with your left leg and sukhasana with your right leg. Bring your right foot in if it was out. Pick up your arms and twist towards your right. Bring your hands down. Turn a little bit more. Float your arms and keep turning. And then bring your chest back to center. Okay, now from here, lean over to the right. Pick up your left foot. You can pick up the knee a little bit here as well. And then bring the knee back down. And coming into a thigh stretch here and getting a little bit in the hip flexor too. Bring your heel in towards that left buttock and push your hip forward. You might find you can bring that left knee back a little bit. If you can, then do. And then re-establish this lengthening in the left thigh. Turn your chest up more towards the ceiling. Keep this right elbow bent. Then release, come up. Bring your knee forward, let go of the foot. And then lean back so that you can change sides with your legs. So pick up your knees, change sides. Make sure that this right ankle is snuggled in to the right hip. And try and relax this right hip. Float your arms, twist towards the left. Bring your hands behind you. Strong twist here. Knit in the lower ribs, but lift your heart up. Keep squeezing your knees and pushing your feet down. Then float your arms, but keep the twist. Then turn back to center. Lean over to the left. Pick up your right foot with your right hand. Bring the knee down. And then again, maybe the knee can come back. And then turn your chest up towards the ceiling. Keep your abs engaged here though. Keep knitting in the lower ribs. And see if you can draw that right heel in a little bit more towards just the kind of slight outside of the right hip. And keep pushing that right hip forwards. Then from here, coming out of the pose, walk your back hand, your left hand back. Release this right foot. Bring the foot to the floor. And then the other foot. And straighten both of your legs. Now from here, lean over to the right. And then bring this left leg in again. We're going to do half virasana here. If you're finding this really tricky and you haven't got your left hip on the floor, get your block, pick your bottom up, and put it underneath your two sitting bones. Stay like this, or if you feel like you've got both sitting bones really firmly planted on the block, take the block away again. If possible here, bring your hands behind you and lean back. If this is not possible, then don't do it. And if you're sitting on the block, don't do it. Just stay upright. If you could come back a little bit further, then do. Maybe bringing your elbows down. Pick your bottom up. If you're doing this, push the tailbone forwards so you lengthen out the lower back. Keep the right straight leg really strong and engaged. If you know this pose and you can come back further, be my guest. Then from here, if you're lying down, push your elbows down, then bring your hands to the floor, come up. Good. Now, if you're sitting on the block, very carefully lean over to the right. Do the same thing if you're not sitting on the block. Lengthen the left leg, lean over to the left, bend the right leg, bring the foot in. And if you've got both sitting bones down, nicely grounded, then take the block away. And then again, you've got the options. If you're on the block, stay like this. Or if you're off the block and you're feeling like this hip is down, possibly recline a little bit more. Do pick your bottom up, push your tailbone forwards, and little bit by little bit. If you can come all the way down, then do. If you can't, please don't force this. This is very big in the lower back. You're arching your lower back quite a lot doing this. Keep pushing your tailbone forward. Be aware of what your body is doing and don't push too far. If you're reclined, push your elbows down, come up, then place your hands where your elbows were, come all the way up, lean over to the left, straighten your right leg, and bring the soles of your feet together. Cobbler's pose. Baddha Konasana. Hands behind you, squeeze your knees. Take a few breaths. Keep pushing your lower back forward. Squeeze your bottom. Then lean back, bring your knees together, and come into downward facing dog. So we're holding poses for a relatively short time in this class. I want this to be a class that you can come back to time and again, because we go through quite a few poses and you really feel like your hips are taken through all of their possibilities, all the range of motion. Bend your knees, lift your chin and look forward. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. Now bend both of your knees, bring your hands by the sides of your feet. Take a big step back with your left foot. Pick up the heel, reach to the back of your mat. Now for warrior two legs, bring your back heel down. Bend your right knee to a right angle. Pick up your left hand, reach it up, come up with your torso, left hand back, right hand forward. Now just for a moment here, make a fist with your right hand, bring it to the outside of your right thigh, and press the leg into the fist and the fist back into the leg, so you really feel the right hip engage. Keep that and bring your arm back up again. Lift your back inner thigh up towards the ceiling and press your tailbone down to the floor. Then pick up your back heel, come out of the pose, bring your hands down to the floor, step forwards, bend both of your knees, step the right foot back. Bring your back heel down, be heel to heel here, bend the left knee at a right angle. Keep that, pick up the right hand, try not to straighten your left leg. Make a fist with your left hand, bring it to the outside of your left thigh, press the leg into the fist and the fist into the hand. Bring your left arm back up. Try and make this back inner thigh light. Move it up towards the ceiling and push your back heel down. Warrior two, look over your left hand. Keep pressing that left hip in. Downward facing dog, pick up the back heel, touch down, step forwards. Forward fold. Come up to stand, bend your knee, swoop your arms forward, come all the way up, and then come all the way back down again. Bend your knees, fold forward. Good. Come into plank. Walk your feet back. Bring both of your knees down to the floor. Just to make this a bit more of a complete class, come all the way down and curl up into cobra. So a nice big back bend here. Squeeze your glutes. Press your legs towards each other. Then come all the way down. Reach your arms forward. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Drop your chin and then pick up everything that you can. Pick up your legs, squeeze your knees, pick up your arms, your shoulders, your chest. 3, keep breathing. 2 and 1. Bring your hands by the sides of your ribs, come up to hands and knees, and then child's pose. Lead with your tailbone long. Bring your forehead down to your mat or onto your block. Take 2 or 3 longer breaths here. Then lift your head, walk your hands back to your knees, and sit your bottom down onto the floor. Lie down with your knees bent, cross your right leg completely over the left, and draw your knees into your chest. Release your hands, cross your legs with the left leg on top. Again, hands onto your knees or your upper shins, and gently draw your knees carefully and slowly down. Take your hands away, uncross your legs. Widen your feet, drop both your knees to the right. Turn your palms up, rest your arms on the floor. Then pick up your knees and drop them the other way. Now pick up your knees and come to Shavasana. Lengthen your legs. Tuck your shoulders under your upper back. Make sure your fingers are curled loosely. And rest here just for 1 minute. Make sure your eyes are closed, your face is soft, and you're letting your body soften all the way to the floor. Drop down. Stay here longer if you want to and press the pause button. Or bend your knees, roll over onto your right side and pause. Stay here, keep soft. Now press down with your left hand and then your right hand to bring yourself up to sit. Close your eyes when you get here and sit tall. Sit cross-legged and push your feet down. Bring your hands into your heart to Anjali Mudra and lower your chin. Release your hands, bring them down onto your legs. Lift your chin and open your eyes. Namaste. Well done. I hope your hips feel good and I hope the rest of your day goes very well. Take care.